Thanks for tuning in. Hello, hello, hello. It's been so long since we've done this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm excited. If you're excited, let me know in the comment section. Hi, Jasmine. Hi, Simone. Hi, Trinity. Right? So long. So long. Thank you, ladies or gentlemen, whoever is watching. I don't want to assume that it's all women. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a little chat today. A little chat. So we haven't done one in a while. I'm just about to have me some coconut water. So grab your beverages because this video. And as you can see, I didn't really put much of a topic. I just have channel updates. Thank you. I just did it last night because we're going to be talking about a lot of different topics. But I'm very excited to hang out with you guys this evening. What are you guys actually doing right now? I'm just curious. Like, where are you? Is it 5 o'clock where you are? It's 5 o'clock where I am, although it feels like it's about 8 o'clock. Just drinking some coconut water from Trader Joe's. It's so good, by the way. Oh, Jamaica, I'm jealous. I was just there in November. Amazing. Like, so beautiful. That coconut water. Divine. I just gave myself a facial, breaking out a little bit, so I figured I'd do a little facial. So if I look greasy, that's why, because I literally just put the olive oil on my face. Trinidad, also jealous. Like, Trinidad, I'm sure it's probably just beautiful and warm and sunny, and it's not any of those things here in New Jersey. But yeah, welcome. Just trying to give people a little bit of time to hop on, but they can catch the replay. For everybody that is here, I appreciate you. So we're gonna have a little bit of a conversation, right? I wanted to have this conversation for a few different reasons, but first, I don't want to assume that everyone watching knows who I am. If you don't know who I am, really quickly, my name is Fatima. On my channel, we talk about all things faith, soul, beauty, mental health, and self-love. We have very transparent conversations, honest conversations, and today, this is going to be a very transparent conversation. And I want to kind of get into the reason why this whole video, why I felt like I needed to kind of have this video and why I wanted to have this conversation with you guys. So I'm going to start there. So also something that I didn't say in my little intro spiel is that I am a Christian as well. I am a Christian. So when I say faith, I'm usually talking about Christianity, but from a place of, I don't know, not from a traditional place, I guess. Just from a very practical, this is my experience type of place. So let me share a quick little story, right? So last week I posted, I'll go back before last week. So for the last couple of months, I was off of YouTube, off of Instagram. I was not really posting. I, told you guys that I was taking a little bit of a break, I think in like September. So from like September to December, I was like rarely on Instagram. I would post every once in a while, but it wasn't the usual uplifting, empowering content. It was very just like surface level, right? And that was because I kind of just wanted to take everything. I wanted to take a step back from creating. I wanted to take a step back from social media for about a month of that time. I wasn't really using social media at all. For the rest of that time, I was using it, but I just wasn't creating. I wasn't putting my thoughts out. I wasn't sharing things that I was going through. It was very, like I said, just surface level, just skimming the surface, right? And during that time, I had so many insights and so many revelations. And so I focused so much on my self-love journey. Hi, Janice. I focus so much on my self-love journey. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that last year in like what year is it? No, 2017. In December, I started my self-love journey. I started documenting it, I started talking about it, and I would probably say around like September, when I decided that I wanted to take a break from like social media and stuff, that's when I felt like I have really got to like the peak of my self-love journey, right? Like, I don't think a self-love journey is ever really complete, but in September I definitely had gotten to a point where I was like, wow, I have made huge progress, huge changes. I felt so much peace with myself, so much peace with like just my whole entire being, like peace that I hadn't felt in a really long time. Um, and I wasn't really sharing that with you guys, right? I wasn't sharing that peace. I wasn't sharing that excitement. So, and I also wasn't sharing a lot of the internal shifts that was happening within me, right? So like my thought process, how I was changing as a person, I wasn't sharing that with you guys in the capacity that I used to share. So I feel like, right, my self-love journey led me to a point where I had all this new realization about myself, but I hadn't shared that with this community. I hadn't shared that on this platform. So you didn't know. The you as in the viewer, you didn't know. The subscriber, the supporter, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to start by sharing what kind of triggered all of this and got me to the point where I was like, I actually want to talk about this. So last week I came back online and I started posting some videos, and one of the first videos that I put up was about my self-love journey. So I started a new series all about self-love, and the first one was how to start a self-love journey, because I've learned so much, right? And now I'm ready to share, and I'm ready to hopefully inspire and teach you some practical ways that you can start your self-love journey, right? And before I posted the video, when I was filming the video, I did like a little behind the scenes on Instagram, which I do pretty often, and I shared some of what I was filming. And in the video, I had this. I'm going to show you. In the video, I had this. Does anybody know what this is? This is a sage bundle, right? So I had this in the video, and it was a very short snippet. And when I posted the self-love video, someone commented under the video and said something along the lines, I don't have the comment in front of me, so I don't remember word for word, but something along the lines of, hey Fatima, I saw the video you posted on Instagram, and I'm just a little confused because I thought that you were on a linear Christian path, right? And complete transparency, I was triggered. I had a lot of thoughts, a lot of things that I wanted to say, but I didn't. I didn't respond to the person. At least I don't think I responded. I don't think I responded to the person. I just left it. And it kept replaying in my mind. I'm like, why is this bothering me so much? Now, before I get into my reflections and what came out of that and moving forward, I want to pose the question to you. What is a linear Christian path? What is that? What is a Christian linear path? And tell me your thoughts in the comment section, because I want this to be a conversation. What is a linear Christian path? What is that? Does it exist? And what does that mean to you? So, right? So I'm going to continue with my story as you guys write in your responses. Let me just also pull this up here. Okay. So, sorry. So, okay. So I started reflecting on this. So Tori says, I have no idea. Teach me something. Okay, that's fair. So I started reflecting on this, right? Because it kept bothering me. Like in the back of my mind, I kept hearing that comment. I thought you were on a Christian linear path. I'm confused. Like, I thought you were on a Christian linear path. I just kept replaying that, and I was like, why is this bothering me? Why is this bothering me so much? So the more I reflected on it, the more I thought about it, and I realized two things. And I'm looking to the side because I actually wrote my thoughts out so that this could be organized, because I can ramble sometimes. So when I thought about it, I was like, okay, I'm triggered, right? I'm triggered by this comment, and I want to understand why. And the second thing I noticed is that there is a disconnect between my personal growth and my channel, right? So let's discuss this a little bit further. So while I was on my self-love journey, something that I uncovered about myself, super transparent moment right now, is that I had the tendency to attach myself to labels, right? And I think we all do this, where we find this label or this title or this box that somehow identifies who we are as a person, and we associate ourselves with that and we resonate with that, right? And there's nothing wrong with it, but I think that what my self-love journey taught me was that I wasn't fully accepting of myself and fully understood who I was, because I was very eager to attach myself to whatever label felt right for the sake of validation, for the sake of having a title, for the sake of being an expert, for the sake of positioning myself as a certain way, so that when you came to my channel, or if a brand approached me, or if someone saw me from the outside looking in, that I would be perceived as something more than just Fatima. I would be perceived as the Christian. I would be perceived as the introvert. I told you guys in the past about how I kind of dropped that introvert label because I was relying on it so heavily, because I was actually afraid and broken and scared to be vulnerable, right? Or we rely on labels like wife or parent, all these different labels that we choose to rely on for the sake of wanting validation, for the sake of saying, this is who I am, right? I have some value now because I have this thing that I can tell you that I do. When people say, oh, what do you do, right? You want to have something to say that you do. You want to have something to say that you are. And my self-love journey helped me to realize that I was attaching myself to labels that came with preconceived notions and ideas of what that meant. So I'm going to go a little bit further into this, right? So maybe back in like March of last year, actually, okay, I'll go back before then. Before then, you guys, if you've been following for a while, you know that my channel wasn't always about faith and self-love and all of that. It used to just be about natural hair, beauty, and fashion. And at some point, I can't remember when, I want to say it was 2017, I pivoted and I said, hey guys, my channel probably isn't going to be much about fashion anymore. I'm probably not going to talk about natural hair anymore. I may still talk about beauty, but my purpose, what I feel like God has placed me on this planet to do, is to really start talking about faith and sharing my journey in that way, right? And the whole point of it was to share my journey, to document my journey. But somewhere along the line, because of my lack of self-love for myself, because of my lack of fully understanding who I was and desperately wanting some type of validation, I quickly attached to this Christian identity and I ran with it. So I shifted my channel completely. I started making videos like how to study the Bible and how to do the SOAP Bible study method. And there's nothing wrong with that content at all. But what I know was the issue looking back is how I positioned myself. I positioned myself as an expert to a certain degree. And the more that I thought about it, the more I was like, there's no such thing as being an expert in something like Christianity. Even if you're a pastor, even if you are a first lady, it don't matter what you are. No one is an expert in Christianity. No one is an expert in faith. No one is an expert in spirituality. That's not a thing. But like I said, that lack of self-love had me wanting to find validation in something outside of just being Fatima, because I felt like that was going to make me valuable, right? That was going to make me valuable. That was going to set me apart. So I quickly threw this title on myself. I quickly started changing my channel. I quickly started, just focusing on faith topics. And although majority of that was spirit-led, a lot of it was ego. A lot of it was me trying to find validation. A lot of it was not spirit-led. And I can go back and look through the stuff that I created, and I just feel this sense of like, ew, you were not being your authentic self in that video, and I can sense it. Maybe you guys can sense it too. Maybe you didn't even notice, but there's been times where I will look at something that I put out and I'm like, I don't like this. I'm putting this on private because I was not being real. I wasn't being real. I was trying to play this role, this persona of like this Christian vlogger, this Christian YouTuber who has it together and who's helping you with yada yada yada, all for the sake of like this image, right? And stepping away from everything for those 3 to 4 months and really reflecting on all of this got me to the point where I was able to really see things for what they were. And I was able to realize that I'm not on a linear Christian path. I personally don't think that a linear Christian path exists, to be quite honest, because when you decide to follow Christ, that's admitting that I am flawed. I am a flawed human being. I am going to sin. I have sinned, and I need God. I need Jesus Christ to help me, right? I need this Savior because I am so unworthy on my own, right? So the idea of a linear Christian path doesn't even make sense, because that's assuming that you start this journey and you're just going to continuously straight across. And that's, to me, that doesn't make any sense, because with any journey, if you think about any journey you've ever decided to take, there's going to be twists, there's going to be turns, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be times where you're going to have to stop and go back to the beginning. There's going to be so many moments where it's going to be everything but linear. So I'm grateful for that person that left that comment, because it gave me the push that I needed to finally stand up for myself, right? And to also be open about all of the stuff that I've discovered and learned about myself. And finally, to almost like set the record straight and be very clear of what my channel is and what my channel is not, right? So my channel is a place where we're going to have honest conversations. We're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk about God. We're going to talk about Jesus. But I am a human being on my own spiritual journey, and I am going to share my journey from a Christian perspective, but still sharing my journey. So if I'm using this and that makes you uncomfortable, you don't have to subscribe to that. I'm not sitting here saying, this is the way, this is what everyone should be doing. I'm not saying that. I know there's plenty of people who think that sage and crystals and incense and Palo Santo and all of that stuff is witchcraft, and will throw Bible verses at me all day long about how wrong I am. I understand that. And because I understand that, that's why I am taking a step down and saying, if I confused you, and if I ever made you feel like I am the Christian role model YouTuber to look up to, that is not the case at all. Because I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do things that you're not going to agree with. I'm going to do things that 5 years from now, I'm probably not going to agree with. But it's a journey. And when I decided to shift my channel, the focus was on sharing my journey. I think somewhere along the way, I got off track and I wanted to be this expert all of a sudden, but I'm not an expert. And I'm at this moment. Are you guys still there? I think it might have started over. Okay, it looks like it's still there. So, yeah. So basically, oh wait, I can hear myself on this. I don't want to hear myself on that. Okay, still there. All right, so yeah, so basically, that question that this person asked reminded me of my purpose and my responsibility with the Soul Beauty Chat, which is the business that was birthed out of my YouTube channel, the community rather, that was birthed out of my YouTube channel. And it reminded me of that responsibility, because for a while I was just like, well, I'm not qualified, right? It was like silently I was dealing with this. I'm like, I'm not qualified. I'm doing it wrong. I'm not Christian enough, so I'm just not going to talk about it. I'm just not going to share. And then I realized that there's so many people that's affected by me deciding that because I'm not qualified and I'm not Christian enough, that I'm not going to share, right? And me going on that self-love journey was a way for me to really kind of pluck those negative seeds out and really remove that shame and remove that feeling of I'm not qualified, and understanding that I am enough and that I do have a purpose, and that ultimately, regardless of what anybody thinks of what I'm doing, about my spiritual journey, about my faith journey, about my Christian path, regardless of what anyone thinks about it, God is honestly and ultimately the only audience that I am trying to appease, the only audience that I am completely concerned about making happy. And I know my heart, I know my intentions, and God knows my heart, and God knows my intentions. So I say all that to say that, to try and summarize this and condense it, I am not on a Christian linear path. I don't think that exists. I don't think anyone is on that path. My channel is not a representation of the perfect Christian path, of all the do's and don'ts of being a Christian. That's not what this is. This is a space where we can have honest conversations and we can talk about faith in a broad spectrum. And although I am a Christian, I'm not going to sit here and turn away people who aren't Christians and have questions about other things. It's not a judgmental place. It's not a place of condemning people without any biblical reason or knowledge, or just simply just for the fact of judging people, just simply just to like throw judgments on people. And also, I think this is a place of like a place where you should come to not to learn. I don't think you should feel like you're coming to my channel to necessarily learn something from me. If anything, I want my channel to be a space of community, a space of, I know when I come to this channel that there's going to be other people that are on a similar path. I know when I come to this channel that we're going to be able to have those transparent conversations, right? I know when I come to this channel that I may learn something new about a self-love practice or about a self-care practice, but I'm not coming to this channel because I think that Fatima is the Christian ideal role model and I look up to her and I want to be like her when it comes to my Christian faith. Absolutely not. And I think I take some responsibility in that misunderstanding for people like the person that left that comment, and also plenty of other comments I've gotten in the past about you're not supposed to be doing that as a Christian and yada yada yada, all this stuff, all these crazy comments that I get on a regular basis about how I'm not doing something right as a Christian. If I confused you by pretending to be an expert, I apologize for that because that was my own wrongdoing. But I can wholeheartedly sit here and tell you right now, I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in being myself. I'm interested in showing up, feeling comfortable, sharing the different things that I'm using and the different things that I'm doing, and not being concerned about being condemned or judged by not doing something right. When you come to my channel, know that you can take some things that work for you and you can leave things that don't work for you. If you see me doing something or behaving in a certain way or talking in a certain way that doesn't resonate with you and your Christian values, you don't have to follow my channel, right? Like, you don't have to subscribe to me. You don't have to watch. You can just be like, okay, this is not for me. And there's plenty of other people, pastors, YouTubers, who may be for you, you know? And I think we also have to take some responsibility for ourselves too, and not expect people that we follow online to be this ideal role model. Nobody should be your role model, in my opinion. You're as a Christian, your role model should be Jesus Christ. That should be your number one role model, because that's who we're aspiring to be like. We're not aspiring to be like me. We're not aspiring to be like Heather Lindsay or any of these other people. Although I think I'm amazing. I think Heather Lindsay is amazing. I think a bunch of these other Christian women that I can't think of their names right now are amazing, but we shouldn't be aspiring to be like them. We should be aspiring to want to be like Jesus Christ. So, and I'm getting passionate, so if you hear me clapping, it's because I'm from Jersey, and when I get passionate, I get loud, and I get a little, but it's all love. I'm saying this in all love. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of like set the record straight and say, hey, you know, if I confused you with my lack of self-love and my pretending, and I made you think that I was an expert, you know, I'm not. And I'm here to tell you for myself, I'm not. So if that's what you thought this was, it's not that. But what I will say though, um, when I realized that, like, when I realized this flaw in myself, and when I realized that I still have work to do, but I also realized that I have a responsibility, right? Like, God gave me this idea for this community. It wasn't my idea. If you go back and look at the video I made when I talked about it, I was terrified of doing this. I was terrified of saying, I'm going to talk about my faith. That's why people don't talk about their faith online, because it's like you know that it comes with a lot of judgment and criticism. But God gave me that vision to create this community and to create this space. And I started to slowly back away and inch away from my purpose, because I was like, this just feels like too much. It feels too heavy. I feel like I have to be perfect. I feel like I'm not doing it right. I feel like this is wrong and that is wrong. And I kept slowly backing away from the calling. But God is persistent, and God would not let that vision out of my mind. And I'm grateful for that person that asked me that question, because it allowed me to say, you know what? I'm going to stand up for myself, and I'm going to be vocal about the flaws in myself, the growing that I'm doing, the learning that I'm doing. And also, it gave me a genius idea. I said, well, if I'm not the person that has all the answers, and I'm not the person that can help these women really, elevate to the next level in their faith, like I a lot of my purpose was setting that foundation, right? I gave you the basics. I told you how to read your Bible. I told you how to do prayer journaling. I told you how to pray. I told you the basics. But it stopped there for me too. Because my journey as a person is not beyond that point where I feel like I could really dig deep into different topics. Like, I'm getting questions like, I'm struggling with masturbation. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm such a terrible person. Can you help me? And I could give you the general, you should repent for your sins and yada, yada, yada. But I'm human. I'm human. So I can't come from a place of like, I'm doing it right. I have all the answers. You know what I mean? But something that this inspired me and made me realize is that I know so many beautiful, amazing women who have a lot more answers than I do. And although they're not perfect either, they are flawed as well, but they are more mature in their faith, and they can help all of us, right? Because again, this community, my channel, my platform, my podcast, the intention from the beginning was always to create a space where we can grow on a journey together. Meaning, I am in this with you. I'm not above you. I'm not teaching you the way. I'm not leading you. I'm not showing you the way. I am just leading this community, and I'm sharing my journey. I'm bringing this community together, and I'm sharing my journey along the way, right along with you. Hopefully I'm inspiring you to say, you know what? I want to be that vulnerable with myself. I want to reflect and look at myself and look at my flaws and journal through my flaws and talk to a therapist and heal myself so that I can continue moving forward on this journey. That is the purpose of what I'm doing. Not to be your role model, not to be the way, not to show you the light, not to show you the path. That's not my purpose. My purpose is bringing this community together, fostering this community, and being honest and helping you to be honest with yourself. So, with all of that being said, I know so many beautiful women that have a lot more answers than I do. And I have decided that I'm pulling back the veil. I'm no longer hiding behind this fear of I'm not enough and I'm not this and I'm not that. Nope, this is my truth. I'm giving you my truth right now. I don't have all the answers. You're going to see me with my sage. You're going to see me doing yoga. You're going to see me meditating. And if that bothers you, that's okay, because we're on a journey and everyone's journey is different, right? But I am going to introduce you to people that are in my life that I know personally, people that I know via online who have so much more maturity in their faith and can help to guide us and lead us together. So I'm going to be bringing back the Fear to Faith interviews. The very first one I'm going to be recording on Tuesday with my big sister that you guys have never met before, who is a life coach and a career coach. ex-military, works in corporate, just dropped so much wisdom into my life. Like, I am so grateful to have her as a sister, and she agreed to share her story and her journey with you guys. So we get to hear from some much more spiritually mature people about their faith, where they are, how they got to where they are. And she is like a God-fearing woman through and through, like so inspiring. So I'm so excited to share her story. And I also have some other interviews that I am in the process of lining up as well. So I'm really excited about that. And I hope that you are excited about it as well, to continue learning and growing. And I hope that what I'm saying makes sense. I definitely don't want this to come across as like negative or like clapping back. Like, this is not a clap back video. That's not what this is. This is really me just being like, you know, thank you for saying that, because it is allowing me to speak my truth. You know, something I feel like I haven't really done with you guys in a while. I'm just able to speak my truth and to say, hey, this is who I am, you know, take it or leave it. I'm done with the mask. I'm done with the charades. I'm done with the labels. Like, this is me. But also in realizing that, saying, you know, these are some of the people that can assist us move forward in our journey. So there's that. Something else you can expect is in-person meetups. So I am going to be hosting some in-person Soul Beauty Chat meetups where, again, you're not learning anything from me. I'm just bringing the community together. We're going to talk. We're going to get to know each other. We're going to share stories and testimonials, and it's going to be amazing. The first one is going to be in New Jersey. I haven't released all the information yet, but it's definitely going to be in New Jersey. So if you're in the area, let me know if you're gonna come through. But yeah, I'm excited about that. And then I'm also going to have a bigger event in August, where that one is going to be like paid. There's going to be vendors, there's going to be speakers, there's going to be like a full day of workshops where you will be learning some practical tools that you can put into your faith journey, put into your self-love journey. So I'm excited about all of those things. Now let me just check my notes to make sure I didn't forget anything. And let me check the comments, because I saw some comments come in, but I didn't want to stop because I didn't want to lose my train of thought. So, to Rainy Nicole, I'm sorry if I said that wrong. Yes, prayer hand emojis. Trinity says you're absolutely right. Amen. Keep walking in your calling. Glad I caught your live. Oh, thank you. Tori says, I felt like you were taking us along with you on your journey, and we could openly talk to you about anything. The ultimate goal to be a better version of ourselves. See, you get it, Tori. You get it. That's exactly the purpose of all of this. So I also apologize if like you get it and you're like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, you preaching to the choir. We already know this. That's why we're here. But some people obviously don't understand that what you just said is like the essence of who I am, the essence of this channel, the whole purpose of what I'm doing. And then Daisy says, vulnerability is a focus area for my 2019. Yes. Some of my focus areas for 2019, one of them is speaking up for myself, because I don't a lot of the times. Like, that may sound weird to some people that I don't, or surprising even, but I don't. Like, I notice a lot of times I just let stuff go because I'm just like, I don't want to disrupt my peace. I don't want to have a confrontation. And I do that because I know how I am. Like, I'm very like, I go 0 to 100 real quick, right? And because I know that, I choose to just stay at 0. You know, I'm like, let me just stay at 0, because if I get to 100, it's not going to be pretty. So because I know that, I usually don't speak up for myself, because I haven't gotten that level of maturity and control over my emotions, honestly, where I can, you know, get to about like a 20 and stand up for myself and articulate what I'm saying without going to 100. So that's something that I feel like is one of my focuses for me, is standing up for myself and just being like, this is what is, and this is what is not. This is what's happening, and this is what's not happening. For example, the question, how old are you? I feel like that's irrelevant. I feel like it doesn't matter. Um, so I'm not going to answer it. But yeah, that's one of my focuses for 2019 is standing up for myself for sure. Because I just feel like I need to do better at it. I need to do better. But do you guys have any questions for me? Any thoughts? Anything else you want to talk about? Let me know. Let me know. Again, coconut water. Rocking. Something else I wanted to share with you guys is that I'm going to be doing the Fear to Faith interviews are going to be posted on my podcast. So if you don't know, I have, why am I looking up here? I'm thinking I'm filming on my computer and I'm actually filming on my phone. I have a podcast called Soul Beauty Chat, and that is where I share a lot of faith stuff, like a lot of my previous faith topics. It's really hard for me to like think because I can hear noise in the background. But like a lot of the deeper conversations about faith are on the podcast, and also the interviews that I'm going to be doing are going to be on the podcast. They're not going to be on this channel, and they're not going to be on Instagram, because I used to do them on Instagram, but some of the people that I'm interviewing don't even have Instagram. So they're going to be podcast style. So make sure you subscribe to my podcast, Soul Beauty Chat. Also, if you want to know more about the Soul Beauty Chat community as a whole, as far as like events and like all of that different stuff, go to the Facebook group called Soul Beauty Chat and join the group. And that is where we'll be having conversations on a regular basis about faith, self-love, our journeys, all of that. That's a place where if you do have, say if you are, for example, struggling with masturbation or struggling with temptation or lust or whatever, and you just want to get some opinions, like, hey, I wonder if anybody else is dealing with this, you can go there and drop your comments in there and talk about it. Like, it's a group of almost 500 women who are basically have all decided to go on this journey together, right? So that's a space where you can go and ask those questions. You can go and ask, like, I'm a little confused about this thing, or I'm struggling with this thing, can you help me? Yes, so the name of the podcast is Soul Beauty Chat. You can also find all this information on my website, soulbeautychat.com. And I usually have all these links in every single video. So if you ever need one, I should put www. But yeah, if you're ever like, oh, I can't remember the website, like, it's always in the description of every video. Or on my Instagram, you can always go there too. www.soulbeautychat.com. So that's where you can join the Facebook group. That's where you can find out about events. Yeah. And then let me read some of the other comments. Terrainy, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Nicole, you mentioned an event. Where will it be? It's going to be in New Jersey. The very first one is going to be in New Jersey. Where will the podcast be streamed? So the podcasts actually aren't going to be streamed. So, wait, I'm lying. Okay, when I saw streamed, I thought of like, where are they going to be like streamed like this, as in you can tune in. I don't know if that's what you mean, but if so, they're not going to be recorded in a way where you can tune in. I'm going to actually stream them on a platform, like a separate platform, save the file, and then upload it onto my podcast, which is on iTunes, and you can also listen to it on my website. So on my website, there's a section that says podcast, so if you don't have iTunes, you can just listen to it there. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah. So I would love to know, what are your focus areas for 2019? Taking that from Daisy, because she shared that hers is vulnerability. I shared that mine is standing up for myself. So I want to know, what things are you guys focusing on for 2019? Soccer Love Forever 100. What's your first name? She says, what religious background did you grow up in? I didn't really grow up in a religious background. I guess I'll take that back. I guess I would say it was Baptist, but it wasn't like enforced. It was just kind of like my grandmother was a Baptist, and that was pretty much it. Like, she went to church every Sunday, so we went because of that. But at a certain age, that was only for like a few years, and at a certain age, it was just like I just didn't go to church at all. I didn't have any type of religious practice at all. Also, you pronounce it right. Oh, okay, I pronounced it right. Cool. Hi, Tressa. We are actually about to wrap up, but thank you for tuning in. Tressa is like OG. Tressa, Daisy. Like, I remember the people who are like always there, always showing love. I appreciate you guys. And to the new people as well. I appreciate you too. So yeah. Let me know if you guys have any other questions. Trinity says, for 2019, I'm just trying to figure out what exactly I want for myself. Like, I genuinely don't know how my head is. Oh, how or where my head is. And I can't seem to stick to one thing. That's interesting. That's interesting. I'm thinking about doing a intention setting, like, live stream on my Instagram page. I feel like that might help you get some clarity on that. I just haven't figured out what. Okay, King J, you're getting blocked. You're getting blocked. Remove. So, what was I saying? Yeah, you may want to tune into that. I think I'm going to do it on my Instagram. I haven't decided for sure, but if I do, I think that will help you. Tyranny Nicole says, I'm focusing on being fearless this year for sure, walking in boldness in Jesus' name. Yes, 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 yes. Tori says, mine is the same as yours, standing up for myself. People like to talk to me any kind of way and treat me bad. I used to go from a 0 to 100. Now that I have a relationship with God, I am more calm. Me too, girl. Me too. 0 to 100 real quick. And now I'm just like, I just stay at 0. And now I just want to find a happy medium. I just want to be somewhere in the middle. I can articulate myself without being at 100, you know? Janice says, for 2019, being more vulnerable and speaking up for myself. Oh, I love that we all have similar themes. Look at that. That makes me so happy when it's just like aligned and like just connected. That makes me happy because I'm definitely going to be talking about standing up for myself and being more just of me. Like, I feel like that is like such a act of self-love, of standing up for yourself, right? Like, a lot of times people just think that self-love is like taking care of your outer appearance and stuff, especially the way it's like trendy on social media and stuff. You see the candles and the bubble baths, and I love all of that stuff. Like, you follow me on Instagram, you know I just got 2 new candles today, 3 actually. So I love all of that stuff, but it goes so much deeper than that. Like, self-love goes so much deeper than that. And it's like realizing that you go from 0 to 100 is an act of self-love. Realizing that you don't stand up for yourself is an act of self-love. Realizing, like, someone said that, Trinity said that, like, I don't know where I am. I can't seem to stick to one thing. Having that level of like self-reflection and self-awareness to say, this is something that I am struggling with and I need to get some type of clarity around. That is self-love in itself, because it requires you being so vulnerable and honest, and then being like, okay, now that I'm aware of this, what am I going to do about it? You know, I could do the work, or I could just pretend like it's not there, pretend that I don't notice it, continue behaving the same way. Or you can say, oh, okay, well, maybe I should do something about this now. Maybe I should try and, you know, improve this in some way. So, yeah. I'm excited, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. It's definitely been a while. I'm going to be doing more live streams. Probably going to be on Instagram. I haven't really decided yet. Like, I'm always kind of torn if I want to do it on Instagram or if I want to do it on YouTube. I don't know. I just feel like on YouTube sometimes, like, you see, I just had to block somebody. Sometimes you just get random weirdos, and I'm just not interested. At one point, I was doing, like, private discussions where we would talk about certain topics. And maybe I'll start doing that again, where I just charged a very low price for people to commit, you know, to show up, but also to like keep out the weirdos. So maybe I'll start doing that again. Let me know what you guys think about that, because I like YouTube, but the weirdos sometimes are just like, girl, y'all are exhausting. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, for tuning in. I'm like genuinely very happy and excited. Fear to Faith interview will be coming very, very soon. And yeah. So if you guys don't have any other questions or anything, I'm going to go. I'm going to give it a minute though to see if anything pops up. But thank you for tuning in. The rest of my self-love series videos are going to be posted throughout the rest of the month of January. And yeah, that's it. Oh, thank you, Tori. This was awesome. God bless you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here. You're welcome. Thank you. And also, if you know anyone that is in need of this type of community, if you know anyone that is trying to build their faith, growing in their faith, feel free to share my channel with them. Just share out the video. And let them know that this is a space where they are welcomed. Thank you, Daisy. Thank you, Simone. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. I will see you later. Bye.